Hello everyone, Neef here, and today we are going to go over 6 bags that I've created for tarot and oracle decks. And these are the bags that I've created since my last bag creation video. So I like to create bags for my decks as a form of bonding with them. So I guess we'll start off with these two. Now they are like, each of these are in like 2 deck pairs, sort of. So I'm going to show 2 at a time, basically, because each of these are going to kind of go with each other. All right, so this is the first 2. All right. Let's pull these out. I'm sorry if you can hear any music playing in the background. My daughter is playing some music on our family record player, and that's like right outside my ritual room. So I do apologize if you can hear it. I think she's listening to the Smiths, if I can place the music. All right, so what we have here. Okay, so what we have here is the Kamito Yokai Oracle and the Yokai Tarot. And so let's look at the Kamito Yokai first. Sorry about that noise. That's my dog going in and out of her dog door. All right, so here we are. And I will try to zoom in my editing program because the setting that I'm using on my camera is a new setting for me, and I can't seem to zoom in on this one yet. So anyway, obviously I kind of used the back as the main inspiration for this bag. And here is the outside, and here's the inside. Here we go. And I use this like a dark blue fabric for the outside, red for the ribbon here, dark blue for the ribbon. Dark blue for the ribbon, and this red for the trim. The trim was the word I was looking for. And here is the inside. Very pretty, and it's kind of got this like gold, sort of like kind of shiny gold to it. Anyway, so let's kind of do a little bit of a as if the bag is a deck, and like we're pairing the deck here. I think this is pretty cool, and obviously I made this to match the other one, which we'll go over in just a moment. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty cool. I think this is pretty cool too. Let's just do a few more, just looking at the cards here, and the cards with the bag. I think, I don't know, I feel like it matches the energy. What do you think? All right, so let me show the other one. All right, so here's the other one. This is for the Yokai Tarot. This is the mass market version. It's not the independent Yokai Tarot Yochi, or whatever that one was called. I can't remember exactly. That's independent. This is a mass market one. And the deck itself is mostly, it's a combination French and Japanese. And the guidebook is all in French as well. So here is this one, and as you can tell, it is very similar to this. I use the same kind of, I think these embroideries came from the same design pack because they have the same backgrounds. It's just a different animal from the front and in the foreground, and there were a few other in this pack as well, but I thought the koi fish worked well with this deck, the Kamito Yokai, because of the koi fish on the back. And this one I chose the tiger, and I think I used this one as my inspiration. This is the card. This is the Ace of Cups, Kappa no Ace. Ace of Cups there, and I thought, tiger was kind of cool. I don't know. And I chose pink for this one because of the book, the set that this came in. It was mostly pink, and I did forget to show the Kamito Yokai. This also is mostly like this dark blue, so that's kind of why I chose dark blue for the Kamito Yokai and pink for the Yokai Tarot. So so let's let me do a quick shuffle of this. I don't like the backs of these ones. I'm not a fan of the backs of this. So while I used the backs as the inspiration for the Kamito Yokai, I definitely didn't use the backs for this one because I don't really like it. But I do like these cards a lot. So let's do the same thing. And I will zoom in editing, I think. All right, so I think this is pretty neat. So what do you guys think? Did I do a good job with this? And I did forget to show the inside here. This is more... I mean, it's got that same sort of shiny gold, but it's like pinks and reds and maroons and white, basically. And it's the same trim, but like bright pink ribbons. So, yeah. Do a few more of these, and then we'll get the next two sets of bags that I've made. So, oh, here's that tiger card here. Yeah, I like this. We'll leave it on this because it's got two cats, basically. All right. Okay, so the next two. We have this one and this one. These are the two decks that I just recently made. I made these... I finished them yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I'm filming this on Monday. It's going to go up on Tuesday. But yeah, I filmed these, I created these yesterday. And so if you can't read Japanese, this one says Shinwa Oracle, and this one says Bushido Oracle. So obviously the first four of these are Japanese decks, and there's actually, like, most of these are for my Japanese decks. Okay, so let me pull out the decks for these. So I make these bags big enough to fit the boxes. Unless the box for a deck is like really too big, then I'll just do the cards themselves. But here's this one here. And we'll pull out this one. And this set was so sweet. I mean, it didn't have the... hiragana and katakana on the designs itself. I added those, obviously. I have some hiragana and katakana design letters, so I added those on there. But yes, these, this was a geisha, and it came from a pack of geishas, and this was a little like samurai warrior. So it was geishas and samurais, and I thought that was very fitting for the Bushido and the Shinwa. And I'm not like intending these to be gendered, but this deck does give me a slightly more feminine feel, and this deck does give me a more masculine feel. So I mean, that did sort of influence my color choices, but I think in general they kind of match. So here with the Shinwa, we have this little geisha, and these are appliqued on. Her dress here is a different fabric, and her face is a different fabric. It's just white because she's a geisha, so she's got the white face paint on. But pretty much everything else is embroidered. So yeah, but that's why there's all this a little bit of roughness around the edge, because it's an applique. So so it's some of the fabric that is not. Yeah, but yeah. So with both of these, for the trim, I use this gold. And on the inside of the Shinwa, I used this, which also has like shimmery gold. The inside fabrics for a lot of these came from a pack of Asian themed fabrics. So here we go. So that's that one. And here is the Bushido Oracle. This one, there's more koi fish on this too, because they're in here. Yeah, see if I can find some. Yeah, here's a koi fish here, but it's red and black and gold and white. So there we go. So let me do a little bit of what I was doing before. So here is the booklet for this, and it's mostly in Japanese. Though this is dual language. Both the Shinwa and the Bushido are dual language, and these are oracle decks, by the way. Do a quick shuffle here. I do like the backs, and I chose this coloring of the bag and stuff because I thought it just kind of went better with the coloring of this deck. I mean, we have cards like this that are kind of browns or gold, more goldish, but then we have more colorful cards as well. So yeah, and this deck just gives me a bit more of a, I guess, more of a feminine vibe. You know, of course, that's really subjective, and there's no need to necessarily gender these, but it does give me a more feminine vibe. So that's why I kind of went with the theme that I did with these two decks. So just do a couple more. But I mean, there are many male presenting figures in this deck too. So it's not a female deck and that's a male deck sort of thing. But yeah, anyway, I'm over explaining, but you know. In general, I think this is really cute. I really like this little design pack. I wasn't sure if it was going to be too juvenile, but I think in general, I think it looks nice. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like this? All right, let me do the Bushido. All right, so here's the booklet for the Bushido Oracle. And it's the same sort of deal. It's kind of dual language, English and Japanese. And there are spreads and stuff in here as well. So the backs go with this pretty well, I think. Let me do a quick little shuffle. All right, here we go. So I definitely feel like this sort of has the, I don't know, the energy of this deck. I mean, it's slightly less serious, I guess. It's a little cartoony or anime-y. This is more cartoony. This is more anime, I think, or manga style. But I feel like this deck just gives me a bit more of a masculine vibe, you know, and that's not to say male. When I say masculine and feminine, I'm not necessarily meaning male and female. It's just the feeling it gives me. I don't know how else to explain that, but yeah. I love these bright blue cards with this because I really wanted to bring some of that in this bag. And there's plenty of these that are more purple or on the red side. There's gold here, more blue. And the feel of these cards are a little bit different than the Chinois. These ones are a bit more of that soft touch feeling, which I don't think I realized when I got this deck. But yeah, this one kind of has that soft touch sort of feeling to it. But both decks are basically the same size. All right, so that is the Bushido Oracle. Please let me know how you liked this bag and if it went well with the deck. All right, the final two decks. I'm probably most excited about this, and I'm sure if you guys have been watching my channel, I'm sure you know what they are. And that is the Rujin Kado, that's Dragon Gods card deck, and the Mars Power Tarot. So yeah, these two decks are essentially married in my collection. They just, like, I use them together frequently. So I'll just pull out the Rujin Kado. So here's that. And this is a smaller deck, so that's why the deck itself is smaller. There's two other decks in that series that I've bought one, and it's kind of on its way. It'll be here in like a week or two. And I want to get two other decks from the Six Ag Girls. Yeah, so here's this one. All right, so yeah, so these two decks are kind of married in my collection. They just kind of instantly bonded, and I want to see if the two other decks in this collection will also have that same feeling for me with the Star Power and the Moon Power that's from Six Sad Girls. I'm not really all that interested in the Jupiter power, maybe someday, but I don't know. I just don't feel as connected with the artwork on that one. So that's why I'm sticking with Mars power, star power, and moon power. Those are the ones that I'm really interested in, and I hope that the other two will match the other two decks from this series. All right, so let me go over the bags. So for the Rujin Kado, I went with, for both of these, actually, I used the pattern fabric on the outside and the solid fabric on the inside. And now, of course, I had a patch from Six Sad Girls. I specifically bought this patch for making a bag for this deck. So this isn't embroidered like the other ones. Yeah, and this is the Two of Wands from this deck. So that made this one pretty easy. And I used this pentacle trim here, and I used this bright green because of the backs. I guess we're going over Mars power first, but I really used a lot of inspiration from the backs of the decks, so I really went with that bright green here. So yeah, I think this looks pretty cool. And then with the Rujin Kado, sorry, I was getting stuff out of the way here. It's got a similar feel. I mean, it's got that red back energy here, and the cards themselves are very colorful, very in your face, and yeah. So for the Rujin Kado, I didn't put an embroidery on here at all, and that is because, or a patch, because the fabric itself had this really cool, like, sparkly dragon, and I'm not sure if the light is picking up the gold sparkle on this fabric, but it is there. So I just made it so that the dragon was in the center of the bag, and just decided to go with that. So it was nice and simple. This was a really quick make, and this was a pretty quick make too, because it wasn't embroidered, it was patch. All right, so we'll do it like this again. I was going to try to pull out both decks at the same time and both bags, but it wasn't quite fitting in frame, so I went this route instead. Yeah, so the Rujin Kado is just very colorful. It's got it's more bold colors, but lots of them. It's definitely not a it's not a minimalist deck for sure, but the art style, it's not like shaded. It's very block colored. So, and I think that gives a certain vibe to it that I really like. And in a way, it sort of tones down a little bit of this deck, because this deck is so it is a bit more colored, and it's not necessarily block colored. Like, there's not exactly shading in this deck, but it's got a gajillion colors in it, and I feel like this deck somehow, like, it's just as busy in the colors, but because it's more blocky, I feel like it kind of brings shape to the colors that are in Mars Power, if that makes sense. So what do you think about the matching here? And the bag itself, I kind of went more with matching the box. So it's got the reds and stuff, but it's also got a good amount of yellow, and then this like sky blue color that I thought looked really nice with the bag. So that is the Rujin. And here is the Mars Power. And this is kind of funny because it almost looks like I'm seeing 3 cards, because this image is actually one of the cards that are in the deck. I think it's the Two of Wands. And the fabric itself, this is from that same Asian fabric pack. I wanted to pick something that matched and felt similar to that Mars Power energy, but also matched in a way with the Rujin Kado, so that they do still like go together, but it's not so obviously Japanese, or yeah, so because it's its own thing, you know, and I don't necessarily always want to use it with the Rujin Kado, so I kind of wanted it. I wanted it to match, but also be its own thing. Does that make sense? So yeah, so that's why I chose this fabric, and I was just sort of thinking about, oh, speaking of, here's that card. That's funny. I when I saw this fabric, I was reminded of that episode of Doctor Who, The Waters of Mars. And that's what it made me think of, because it's fiery, but it like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that, but it's almost like lava, like, but it's water, so it sort of made me think of the Waters of Mars episode of Doctor Who, which is funny because I'm actually wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt right now. So yeah, I think the energy goes pretty well with this deck. It's very, very busy, like, and that was intentional on my part. I intentionally chose a fabric that's really busy and has a lot going on, and then put a patch over top that has all that busyness. So it's very, very busy. It's a very, very busy deck, and a very, very busy bag. And so that was intentional on my part, but like, I mean, look how busy this is. Yeah. All right. So that is the Mars Power. Okay, so I want to share just some plans for future bags. So I grabbed out a few of these decks, not to show the decks per se, but to just kind of talk about what my next plans are. So I really want to make a bag for the Shadowscapes. Now, this is a deck I have had for ages. I've had this deck since about 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. It's one of my 2012 decks. That's what I call them. And I've just never made a bag for this. And it's not one of my favorite decks. It's actually probably one of my least favorites. It's beautiful art, but I think I need to finally just, maybe what would help me connect with this deck a little bit more is I finally make a bag for it. So that's on the list. That's on the list of bags to create. And I also want to create a bag for my Whispers of Lord Ganesha. And now I wouldn't keep it in this box because the cards themselves are too small for this box. The box is too big for the cards, rather. So, and that frustrates me so much because I do like to make bags that fit the boxes. I like to keep decks in their boxes if I can, but this one it's just too large, but I would really like to make a bag for that one. And finally, I have two decks here, and I got to be careful because they don't have a bag, so I just kind of have them out separately, and that is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and the Moon Oracle. And these are by the same creators. It frustrates me to no end that they are different sizes and cardstocks. Oh, I have different... I pulled out the goddesses that were in the Moon Oracle because I don't want to work with the goddesses. So I just have the Moon mansions basically, and some of the other cards. What frustrates me about these two is that they are completely different sizes. I definitely prefer this one, and they just don't go together, even though they go together, and that's something that kind of bothers me with deck sets, is when something like that happens with decks. But yeah, but I have started to use this deck a little bit more, and I'd like to regularly use it. And but the boxes that they come in are huge for one, and unwieldy, and I don't want to keep them in the boxes. So I definitely plan to make some bags for these. Oh, and one more. This is a brand new deck of mine. I just did a walkthrough of this, or unboxing rather. This is the Oceanum Tarot, or Oceanum Arcanum. Oceana Arcanum. Oceanum Arcanae. There we go. I got there. So obviously ocean themed deck. Super excited about a bag that I might make for this. I also plan to get the other element decks from this series, Taylor Brand, and there's going to be like 4 or 5 of them, and I am going to make each bag match each other, but in the colors of said deck. So that is going to be a long-term sort of project, but I am really excited to make a bag for this one. All right, so that is all the bags that I have recently made. Yeah, so it's for the Bushido Oracle, the Shinwa Oracle, the Kamito Yokai, the Yokai Tarot, the Orujin Kado, and the Mars Power Tarot. All right, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!